Welcome, everyone. This is John Tiamisha. Today is January 13th. This is our A0 Intro to Circassian Eurasian section. So all of the students here are not from North America. They're from Europe or Asia, depending on how you think of the Middle East or Turkey, Europe or Asia. And as we're starting to do, instead of doing a formal review of our slides, we're using what people know to have real conversations. That's how we warm up. And as people come into the class, not everybody makes it exactly on time, and that's fine. This is just a way for us to warm up without waiting for everybody to join. So there was a question before, we had a few conversations, and we talked about how the word for pretty or beautiful is dacha. And by the way, that word can be used for a boy or a girl. It's not like in English, it would be strange to say a pretty boy. In fact, in some parts of the United States, if you say it's a pretty boy, it's an insult. It's not like that in Circassian. You can say mirs ala dakas, mirchajabs dakas. Doesn't matter. And then the word that would be the opposite of that, I gave you a simple word. I'll give you a better word. It's ayij. Ayij would be ugly. That's a big insult. You never, in English speakers, insults are not that big. You could call somebody crazy in English and it's kind of not a big deal. In many other cultures, you call somebody crazy and they'll kill you, right? So we would not say to somebody, you are ugly. It would be a very big insult. Ayij, ayij. Then somebody asked a question about the word shanawa. Shanawa means scary. So shana means scary. Shanawa means like very scary. Actually, no, shana means, I'm sorry, shana means I'm scared. I'm scared. But then if something is scary, ar shanawos. And you know what, Aliyah, I think you asked this question last class. Shanawa can be an adjective or a noun.
I don't think I asked this question, but
somebody who was a Russian speaker asked in the last class, I forget who it was. As a Russian speaker, the noun form and the adjective form of words is different in the Russian language. In the Circassian language, the noun form and the adjective form are identical. They're the same. Okay. So let's keep going for the warm up. Let's see, who did I it always messes me up when all the video boxes change order because I go like, oh, this row. What the hell shit? Larissa Kharzinash. Nobody then was Why you just talk we are. Why you just talk we are. Who knows what's talk? Electricity. Talk si ashnoba.
Is it from Russian talk?
Talk. It comes from Russian, right? In the Middle East, where my dad, he would say haraba. Dina knows that word. Okay, Arashi. All right, so tell me this, Talat. Tell me you're in Madagascar. Tell me you have electricity. Tell me you don't have water. Tell me in Circassian.
Madagascar. Siash.
Sa'ash.
Seshiash. Se to shiash. Awa se psi shiakum.
Okay. For did this. So you can say it two ways. You can say sa Madagascar sa sha'ash. Okay. Tok sha'ash. There is electricity here. Awa psi sha'akum. But there's no water here. This is correct. This is acceptable. Also, you could say sa tok si'ash. I have electricity. Awa psi si'akum. But I have no water. Dala'a. Wa vimpuwi'a.
حوا
Vimpu zri wi akam? Zri wi. Wow. Sa kino film se plas. Kaya what vimpu eji Madagascar mtech. Arpaj hamra mupaj.
مربج حوا س ومبو ساوقم
Sa vimpu zri slogaqam.
سلوارم
Slogaqam. Who knows what's vimpu?
Penguin.
Penguin. Because he's in Madagascar, I always ask him if he saw any penguins. Dua.
Gente.
What thou shit noba?
Harzene. Harzene wapsa tamamsh.
Tamam, sarisa tamamsh. Dua. Wa adda wi'a.
What was that again?
Adda. Baba. Adda wi'a.
How is your father? Is that what you're
Do you
saying?
have a father? Do you have a
Anta.
father? Adda wi'a.
Anta.
Adda wi'as. Wi'adam yitzarsit.
Sasi.
Wi'adam yitzarsit.
Abitsa Diab.
Diab. Wi'adam.
He came to America, he switched it to Janti. Yeah, the original one is Diab, but when he came to America, he switched it to Janti. Same as yours. I don't know if you know,
You know
about
what?
that.
My whole so her father is we're relatives. Her father is my cousin. You know what? My whole life I knew him as Diab. I never heard that his American name. By the way, it's very common in New Jersey where we grew up. Everyone has two, sometimes three names. They have the Adiga name that their parents gave them. They have the Arab name that was written down on the official documents. Then a lot of them would chose a easier to pronounce non-American name, sometimes American name when they came here. So my grandfather's name was Muhammad Noor. But the Adiga people all called him Nouri. And then when he was in the United States, he was Nick. So I remember as a kid, people would come around the house. Okay, Nick told us to do this. Nick, who the heck's Nick? Who's this Nick guy? He must have a lot of power. Wait till my grandfather finds out all these people are around his house and Nick told them to do something. So Diab, I never knew he has a different name of Janti.
I know, because all the Circassians know him as Diab, but on the documents, it's really Dante.
That's funny.
I know.
Small world.
It is funny, yeah, because I had a feeling that you would be surprised if I told you this. So.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Jean Dilara.
Salam.
Walaikum salam. What dawa shit noba?
صفص خازنش وسط خده.
Sorry, sakharzanas, tamamsh wapso. We shupkhuri, we yanari, dawa shit.
Ari push.
Akhrif us.
Akhri push.
Samira.
Good.
We yanam yitzarsit.
Siyanım yitser feliz.
Feliz. We yadam sha.
Siyanım yitser tenhash.
Talhash wapso. Feliz di shupkh.
Bitsasabu.
What do we make for? Si fash khorkam mekher we procha. Si gorams en mekher fa fi wo we shupkhs.
Khonu khosakens. We kinga sans bleki jahas.
I told her, I don't believe these are your daughters. These must be your sisters. She said, you can believe what you want to believe. I'll go along with it. Si guapos. So is Zarin.
ست
داو وشت
خارزنش وداوشت
سريس خرزنش و دنا وشقة
سا تركم سشعش
تركم وشقش ست خود قالة اسطنبول أنقرة تشورم ست خود قالة
كالن إسطنبول
قالم اسطنبول نوبة ويديشة خوابة حمش شقة
نوبا ديشجا is that cold
شقة شقة
نوبة
نوبة شقش
نوبا شعش
نوبة شقش وأنا ويئة أنا ماما ويئة أنا ويئة
what mean that I don't understand
سا كوفي سي أش سا كوفي سي أش سا تلفون سي أش سا ماما سي أش وماما ويئة
شاركم
Do you have a mother?
yes
انت
نتا
ماما سي أش
ماما
تمام ويانم يتسأر ست
بيرهانش
فريحان واو ستو تصداخة فريحان ستو تصداخة what a beautiful name what a beautiful name ودلخ وزدلخ زشبخ ويئة Do you have a brother or a sister?
I can say that Circassian. I have one sister and two brothers.
Sa zeshupch si ash.
Sa zehub si a.
Shupch.
Shupch.
Tamam. Sa zeshupch si ash.
Sa zeshupch si ash.
Sa delhuit si ash.
Sa delhuit si ash.
Si ash. Tamam. Wapso. Sina, die shupchzuk.
I wasn't there last time.
That's okay. Dao shit noba. Wie geht es dir?
Good.
Good. Tamam. Wits are sit.
Sitzer sena.
Wits are sena. Sits are sit.
Witzer jantis.
Haj. Sa sits are jantish. Wa ana wia. Mama wia. Hast du Mutter?
Nata.
انت ويانم يتسر ست
ويتسر عايشة
ويانم يتسر عايشة ستو تصداخة what a beautiful وبابا ويا عاد ويا
نت
أبي يتسر ست سنة
ويتسر دينيس
أبي يتسر دنيس عاري تصداخش that's also a beautiful name ودلخ ويا Hast du Brote?
نت
أبي يتسر ست
ويتسر سلم
أبي يتسر سلمش زد دلخ ويا حمد دلخويت
وان
زد دلخ سي اش وشبخ ويا.
نت
أبيتسر ست سينا.
وويتسر سينام
سينام. عريت داخش. حمي غبسو سينا. حمي غبسو. Thank you very much. وف ددو بصاش. You did a great job.
thank you.
Everyone, bravo. Come on, everyone, open up your mics. Bravo to Sena. Very good. She's a great example. Young girl who doesn't even speak English as her first language, who's using this foreign language called English to learn her ethnic language. That's a very good job. You're inspirational, Sena. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nasiba. Nasiba is at a remote location. He or she is unable to speak. Guzda, are you able to speak?
Yes. Selam.
Walaikum salam. What dawa shit?
Where am I? Is that question?
How are you? Dawa
How
shit.
are you? Dawoodad.
Dawoodid. Dawoodid. Wow.
Dad.
Sorry, dawoodid. Whoopso. Whoopso. What? Dana washa'a.
And then Turkum
Turkum washa'ash. Sit qala.
Ankaram sishas.
Ankram. Ankara wigurihra.
I don't know that question, sir.
Do you, it's okay. It's okay. Do you like Ankara?
Yes, I like Ankara. How can I say?
Ankara sigruh.
Ankara sigruh.
Wa ana wi'a.
Yana yatam siyanam siyan yatam yit. Am I right?
Anari adri si'ash.
Okay. Anri yatari siash.
Yatsachar sit.
Yatı yitser coşkun. Siyanım yitser sevil.
Wa delhwi'a.
Delh. Delh.
Delh. Do you have a brother?
Yes. Ur. Delhit.
Delhit wi'a.
Yes.
Okay, so you would say sa delhwit si'ash.
Yes. Se delhit ash.
Yatsachar sit.
Yatser samettir sercanır.
Kura ogosh. Wawa adiga.
Sesadığı.
Sarisa adigas. Wa qabrde.
Abzeh.
Abazak. I knew from your accent you're Abazak. I knew it. I knew it.
I
I
am
knew it.
Gute.
So, you know, does anybody here, this is such a strange question. Does anybody here watch the TV show called Cobra Kai? No? Does anybody here know the movie Karate Kid?
Yeah.
Okay, so Cobra Kai is the continuation of Karate Kid. So it's all the same actors, but it's 30 years later. And Cobra Kai was the name of the bad guys in the Karate Kid. And they say, Cobra Kai, never die. That's what they say. So I have lots of Abazak cousins. I always think it's funny that Abazak, they don't say Qabrday, they say Qabrtai.
Yes.
So I always tell my wife, we should get those jackets like they have, but instead of Cobra Kai, never die, we'll say Qabrdai, never die.
Good idea.
Good idea. Of course, only 3 people on the internet will understand the joke. You know, they say if you have to explain a joke, it's not a good joke.
Exactly.
So, all right. So who's gonna go? Nasiba, are you able to speak?
Ja, jetzt geht's. Ich habe ein Problem mit der Technik.
Es macht gar nichts. habe ich gesagt dein Name richtig? Es ist Nisibe.
Aha, right.
Can you say it one more time?
Habe ich jetzt nicht verstanden.
Sag dein Name. Nisibe?
Mein Name ist Nesibe.
Nisibe.
Ja.
Nisibe. Danke. What? Dana was sha'a?
Germany. From
Germany.
Germany.
Almanyum sa sha'ash.
Almanyam Şı'ı.
Sa sha'ash.
Şı'ış.
Wawa adiga?
Arız, abzak.
Abazak. Abazakri adigas. Wa adawi'a?
Adır Sait Arba.
Arabiyitsa.
Allah rahmet eylesin. Sait Ağı, Sayniş Ağı.
Verstehe. Wa delhwi'a?
Delhürsit.
Bruder.
Ha. Arız şıt ura. Şıphu şırası.
Yatsıhırsit.
Şıph nahajım yitser Süveybe. Nahaim yitser Nesime. Ya nahaim yitseri Hafize.
تصدقكش وفدد وبسطفرة نسيبة
Sesfede Koguş Aşuka Soğupşa.
وفدد وبسطفرة du sprichst sehr gut auf Abazakibus. Whoopso.
Thank you.
Whoopso. All right. So, it's funny. I'm having my first cup of coffee, and sometimes when the German comes in, I want to go to Russian. So I was going to, that's what I was going to say. But anyways, let's go to the formal class now. Do you guys like these little warm-up sessions where we talk?
Yes, good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because the thing about this class, you're going to hear me say this a lot. Language is not a subject we study. Let me say this again. And I know some of you for English is not your first language. So language is not a subject we study. Math is a subject we study. History is a subject we study. Okay. Language is something we do. Language is like playing the guitar. Language is like riding a bicycle. The way that most people try to teach languages, if we learned to ride a bicycle that same way, we would spend 1 week studying physics. Then we would spend 1 week studying aerodynamics. Then we would look at pictures of bicycles. Then we would talk about how those bicycles are made in a factory. And then after 2 months, you would touch the bicycle. You want to sit on the bicycle and go on the first day. That's how it is with language. So in the last night in my other class, I asked the student something. He said, that's not on the slide. I said, of course it's not on the slide. I'm not teaching you to memorize these words. I'm teaching you how to speak with other human beings. And what I'm trying to do in these little warm-up sessions, I take the things that I think you know. I take the things that I've taught you, or I take things that I'm going to try to teach you. And I try to ask you things about your personal life, because yeah, that's good. But you have mothers, you have fathers, you have brothers, you have sisters, you live in a city, you live in a village. And if you meet anybody who's Circassian, these are the things they're going to ask you. What's your name? Where are you from? Are your parents alive? I'll teach you, what I'm saying right now is, do you have a mother? Do you have a father? Every human being, maybe except for Jesus Christ, has a father. Every human being has a mother. So I'll teach you nicer ways to say this, but right now I'm just keeping it simple because this is what Circassian people will ask you. Melih, I think you had a question.
Yes, it was about what you're saying, actually. We need to feel that belonging to Circassian language. So better way to use it, better way to hear it and try to speak. So it also helps us feel comfortable with language and all the things.
Yep, exactly. Now, before we go back into the lesson, I did see that Mehmet asked a question. So those of you who speak Russian or who know or have studied Russian, in Russian, there's this concept of verbs of motion. And in many languages, like in English, I go to Europe, I go to the moon, I go to school. But in many languages, if you go with a even in German, you know, if you walk versus if you go with a car. Ich fahre, ich gehe. Ich fliege, zum Beispiel, auf Deutsch. So in Circassian, we don't have those type of things, but we have many different ways to say that something exists. And if something is in a place, obviously it exists. So right now I'm using the very simplest form, dana wa sha'a, right? Dana wa sha'a, where are you? Where do you exist? Dana wa sha'a. Now you could say, so if I say dana wa sha'a, you could say sa wunam sa sha'ash. This is not incorrect. This is grammatically correct. This is grammatically correct, but it's not how a native speaker would say it. The native speaker would say sa wunam sa sha'ash. Sa sha'ash. And the reason for this is these, you know, let's call them verbs of location. They have to do, there's a lot of rules that we're not going to get into in this class, but they have to do with where you are. Does it have 2 walls like this? Does it have 3 walls? Does it have 4 walls? Does it have a ceiling? Are you inside of it? Are you next to it? Are you on top of it? Are you halfway into it? Right? So all these different things have a meaning on what verb you're going to use. Now, native speakers don't think. Native speakers don't think about any of these things. They just know. Just like none of you probably think about the grammar of your native language. You just know. Okay. So the question was, could I say sa Madagascarum sadas? Yes, this is correct. Because an open place that has no walls around it, right? Das. Das. So you could say sa Madagascarum sadas, sa Stambulum sadas, sa New Yorkum sadas, sa Ankaram sadas, sa Nalchikum sadas. This is all correct. Okay. All right. So let's go to class. You guys can see my screen?
Yeah.
Hang on a second. I didn't share that. And there we go. Okay. All right. This is where we ended last time, right? Sachhacha. Is this familiar? I see this. Okay. It's okay. So, you know, what did we do? I'm not going to do a full review. I'm not going to do it, but these are all the things we know. Mirs alas, alam yitzar wasmansh, wasman khajabskum, wasmansh alas, the dosa, we know. The dosa, we know. Wawitsar sit, alam yitzar sit. This is what we warmed up with. We add the yitzar sit. The reason is, and this happened in the last class, I asked somebody, we add the yitzar sit. And you looked at me like, I have no idea what that means. And I said, Shalom yitzar sit. He said, Shalom yitzar wasmanch. You know what that means? And I'm not criticizing him. I'm not. What that means is he hears ba, ba, ba, ba, ba, and he says ba, ba, ba, ba, ba. It doesn't mean he actually understands ba, ba, ba, ba, ba, right? So that's what we're trying not to do, right? So if I say Shalom yitzar sit, Shalom yitzar wasmanch, if you memorize that, you have not succeeded in learning the language. You have memorized ba, ba, ba, ba, ba, ba, ba, ba, ba, ba. That's not what we're trying to do. So we warmed up with this, right? We went through this. We covered this in the last class. Some people asked some questions. All these slides are available. All these slides are available. We said we went through the different nationalities. Samira, she finally figured out what a German is in in Circassian, the mitzvah. We went through this stuff, and then we went into Shaler Mapsasha. Okay, Shaler Mapsasha, the boy is speaking. Shaler Psashara is the boy speaking. I think I explained to you guys how we have these verb roots that do not change, and we have these prefixes that do change, right? And what I explained in last class, this is just review. What I explained in last class is when we make so for every verb, and we're going into the verbs so that you guys can get a comfort level. For every verb, there is a verb root. Psasha, psasha, psasha. This never changes. When we, Jean Dilara, I'm going to say this in English, but then can you say this in Turkish so that Gözde and Zarin can understand? Yeah, okay. So I'll say and then I'll stop. So every verb in this class has a verb root, and this verb root never changes. Never, never, never changes.
Okay. Diyor ki her fiilin bir root ne demekti? Ekimi var, o hiç değişmiyor. Burada zarfı, o hiç değişmiyor. O hep her seferinde aynısı.
Okay. And then but we say this verb different for different pronouns. I, you, he, she, or it. O. Turkish o.
Her kişi için yani ben, sen, o gibi kişilerde değişiyor. Öndeki olan ek değişebiliyor. Yani burada konuşmaktan bahsediyor Serken, ama sarfe ya da sarfe hep aynı kalacak. Önü değişiyor. Okay.
When we make a positive statement in the present tense, and what I mean by a positive statement, it's not negated. So here we have a negated sentence. Ich spreche nicht. Here we have a positive statement in the present tense. Ich spreche. When we make a positive statement in the present tense, we use these prefixes.
Olumlu cümlelerde yani ben konuşuyorum, so sadece so ve de yo oluyor, arda me oluyor. Ama sadece olumlu cümlelerde. Olumsuz olduğunda değişiyor. Onun sağ altta yazdı.
Any other time, if we negate in the present tense, if we ask a question, if we say the past tense, if we say the future tense, any other time that is not a positive statement in the present tense, we use different prefixes. It's these prefixes, and these never change. So we use this prefix only for present tense positive statement. And then we use this prefix. There's many ways that we can say this verb. I only put 2 extra ways here, but we always use these other prefixes for anything if it's not a positive statement in the present tense. If we put it in the past, if we put it in the future, if we make it subjunctive, if we ask a question, if we negate it, we use this prefix instead.
Diyor ki şu anki zaman ve olumlu bir cümle ise eğer, o zaman bu so, yo, me kullanıyoruz. Ondan hariç her şeyde, yani geçmiş zaman, gelecek zaman ve olumsuz cümlelerde s ve wu kullanılıyor. Yani se, s ve wu'dan başlıyor. Yani o olmuyor, yani so, yo olmayacak o zaman.
And the reason that that's important is some of you have some trouble because, and this is a little tricky, right? If I say, Ar mapsasha. He is speaking. He speaks. But if I ask the question, I never say ar mapsashara. I don't do this. And I never say ar mapsasharkum. I never do this. So sometimes you guys forget that we only use this mapsasha when we make a positive statement in the present tense. Here, this is a positive statement. It's not negative. It is in the present tense, but it's not a statement. It's a question. This is a statement. It's in the present tense, but it's not positive. It's negative. So most verbs follow a very similar pattern. That's why I'm taking time to explain this. Once we understand this, it's going to get very easy to learn all the other verbs that we will learn in this class.
Üçüncü kişide ar mepsahi o me sadece olumlu şu anki zamanda kullanılıyor. O me soruda ya da olumsuz olumsuz fiilde geçmiş zamanda kullanılmıyor. Yani me kullanılmıyor üçüncü kişide. Ve çoğu fiil bu şekilde yapıldığı için buna çok zaman ayırıyorum şimdi diyor. Bunu bir anlarsanız çoğu fiili çekimleyebilirsiniz. Her şey söyledim değil mi?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So let's play with this verb a little bit. Let's play with this verb for a little bit. Okay. Jandilara.
Yes.
Khati jibstu psashara.
Yicipstu ve opsasya.
Sas psashara. Wari wopsashara.
Seri sopsasya.
Paj. Burhan.
Sit, Janti.
Jibstu jandilara psashara.
Nta.
Hawa.
Okay, Hawa. Egypto wo wopsasha.
Jibstu sas psashara. Wari wopsashara.
Nta sari so psasha.
Jibstu satanai hubrak psashara.
Hawa Egypto satanai hubrak psasha rakim.
Psaj. Jibstu satanai hubrak psasharkum. Psasharkum.
Psasharkum.
Satanai.
Sit.
Khat jibstu psashara.
ويجبستو وبساف.
Paj. Paj. Lalina.
Sit.
Wo psashara.
Sa Yicipstu sopsasya.
Dal'a jibstu psashara.
Hawa dalha Yicipstu psasyakum.
Paj. Paj. You almost made that little mistake and then you caught yourself. Paj. Paj. Dina.
Sit.
Shalar psashara.
Ta. Shala. Psashara.
Mapsasha.
Mapsasha.
Shalar mapsasha. Ta paj. Vimpu. Vimpu. Dal'a. Vimpucher psashafara.
حوا ومبوغر بسلف رقم.
Pej. Vimpucher psashafarakum. What did I ask Dal'a? Who knows?
The penguin speaks.
Dal'at knows. No, Dal'at knows. Dal'at knows. Somebody, and Dina, it's not quite.
Sorry.
So somebody else, tell me, what did I just ask Dal'a? Let me say it again.
Speak.
Vimpucher psashafara.
Is it
Can
able?
penguin speak?
Can the penguin speak? Are they able to speak? So, Dal'a, vimpucher psashafara.
حوا ومبوغر بسلف رقم.
We fashkhura. Are you sure?
شرقم. In the movie.
You know, film say flash. I saw a movie where the penguins are able to speak, so maybe they speak. I don't know. Dua. Yes, Kirill.
Sit.
Is her the article?
Her is plural.
Oh, plural.
So her,
penguins.
Yeah. So vimpu is singular.
Oh.
Vimpucha is plural, indefinite. Vimpucher or vimpuchem are both plural definite. And whether we use or depends on the verb that happens to be in the sentence. We'll cover whether you use or Well, we do it here a little bit. Like, for example, Kirill, how do I say, what is the boy's name?
Shaler, Yitzer. I forgot.
Okay. Shalem Yitzer Sit.
Shalem Yitzer Sit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of you, most of the time, you say that perfectly. Shalem Yitzer Sit. But if I say, Mehmet, how do I say the boy speaks? Correct. So I say Shalem Yitzer Sit. What is the boy's name? But I also say Shaler Mapsacha. Now, there's very complicated grammatical reasons why, but none of you guys are confused. All of you, most of the time, you do a very good job with Shalem Yitzar Sit, and you do a great job most of the time with Shaler Mapsacha. Right? Now, in both of those cases, Shala is one boy. Shalecha would be boys. We're not specifying who. There's no definite article. Shalecha. When I say shaler, it's a specific boy. When I say shalem, it's a specific boy. Equal. It just happens to depend on what verb we're using. And if I wanted to say specific boys, shalechem, shalecher. And it, again, depends on which verb we're using. Okay, so let's keep going on. Dua.
Sit.
Chat Egypt stop Sahara.
Inta whoops whoopsacha.
Paj sasop Sahara. Egypt sto vimpucher Sahara. What's vimpu?
I'm not sure. I know Egyptu is right now, but I'm not sure with this the second word.
Vimpu is penguin.
Oh, okay. Hawa.
Hawa. Egypt sto vimpucher Sahara. Right? Tell me right now, are the penguins speaking right now, Dua?
Hawa. Wowapsacha, you are speaking.
Samira. Wiyaner Psachara.
Hawa. Wiyaner Psachara.
Wiyaner Adigebzacha Psachafra.
Nata. Wiyaner Adigebzacha
Wiyaner Adigebzacha Psachaf.
Siana Adigebzacha
Mapsachaf. She's able to speak. Mapsachaf. Wari Adigebzacha Wapsachafra.
Sesi dukmi
Dok sopsallaf. Dok sopsallaf. Quns. Zarin.
Tıt.
Xet yicib stu bsallara?
Va yicibstu. Neydi? Psarlar. Mapsarlar.
Wo bsalla. Va yicib stu wo bsalla.
Va yicibstu va psarha.
Yicib stu wo bsallara. Wo bsallara.
Şimdi konuşuyor musun? Enta.
Sa sopsalla.
Ben konuşuyorum, sen konuşuyorsun. Sa sopsarha. I speak.
You speak, correct. Mehmet.
Yes, Janti.
Sit Janti.
Worry, Janti.
Înpa. Yicib stu di maza bsallara.
Hawa ar psacherqım.
Ar bsallarqım. Xet yicib stu bsallara?
Yicib stu worry which seri psa de psacher.
Do bsalla.
Dopsacher.
Do bsalla. Di maza?
Sıt.
Da do bsalla. Wara sara da do bsalla.
Hava.
Da do
Nute nicipstu deri dopsashe.
Dari do bsalla. Pez. If we speak to each other, what do we say? Do you remember?
Yopsashe.
So if I speak to somebody else, yopsalla. Wa bopsalla, sa sopsalla. Da dopsalla. Da dopsalla. Dizopsalla. Dizopsalla. Do you remember this concept? So you can speak and I can speak. Maybe you're in a different room. Maybe I'm in a different room. Dopsalla. But if we speak together, dizopsalla.
Dizopsashe. O zaman nicipstu seri veri dizopsashe.
Bravo. Alia. Xet yicib stu bsallara?
Jibstu wo bsallara.
Washa?
Seri sopsallara.
Dizopsalla.
Da dizopsalla.
Pez. Sena. Sa sopsalla.
Natı. Bu psahara.
Pez. Sa sopsalla. Wa bsallara.
Natı su psahara.
Pez. Yicib stu burhan bsallara.
Hava.
Ar bsallarqım.
Natı.
Nıta ar bsallarqım. Wupsa Sina. Wupsa. Nasiba.
Buyur.
Sena bsallara yicib stu?
Zahışçı çıkıp.
Sena Sina spricht.
Sinish. Siri.
Hawa Sina, Sina.
Sina. Sina has. Tamam. Sina. Sein. Seine.
Sena, Sena spricht. Jetzt.
Na konuşuyor mu diyor.
Hawa.
Hawa.
Sena, Sena, Egypto, Sena, Egypto, Sathrakum.
Sina zdibsh. Oh.
Egypto.
Zipstory.
Egyptory. Sathrakum. Satlap. Satlap.
Psalaq.
Okay, khons. Upso. Gizda.
Yes.
Khat Egypto Psathra.
Het. Sesi or word.
Yeah, wo Psatha. Saso Psatha. Pashka?
Sasha.
Yeah, bravo. Wo Psatha.
Ada.
Saris Psathra.
Yes. Word. Wo Sasha.
Pej, wo Psatha. Wo Psatha. Wo Psatha.
Okay.
Ziwar. Ziwar. Okay, khunch. I see a question. Is there any mistake in the table at the negative section form? They translate a question. Let me see. In the negative section. Thank you for that. Yeah. Sorry about that, Mahmoud. Thank you for finding that error. Okay, so let's keep going on. So everyone come off mute. Everyone open your microphones. Class. Alarm psacha. Alarm psacha. Such hatch alar psathara or alar such hatch psathara. Why is the boy speaking?
Neden konuşuyor?
Alar such hatch psathara. Arhuish. Burhan.
Good, Janti.
What? Achshawahwe. Parawahwe.
Nta. Aksha sequage.
Satanai. What? Pse uhwe.
Sepse sequage.
Lalina. What? Lada priora uhwe.
Lada priora sequage.
That's like a fast sports car in Russia. Dina. What siesta uhwe?
Sequage.
Yeah, study sequage siesta. Tal'a.
Sit.
What talk uhwe?
Satohuish.
Talk sequage. Dua. What? Helicopter uhwe?
Sesin gidiyor.
Helicopter uhwe Dua?
Helikopter istiyor musunuz?
You're muted, Dua.
İstiyorsa.
Okay. What was the question again?
Helicopter uhwe what?
Gidiyor sesin.
Is the helicopter speaking?
No. Uhwe. Mis yaptım Uhwe. وخوي helicopter وخوي
Oh, Wolwish.
I'm asking you if you want a helicopter. Helicopter وخوي
Oh, okay. Sasihuish.
وخويش helicopter خنس فيليز و نصيب وخوي انت وخوي ويبخور دقونو ما خغور على حمشي ما خغور. I asked her if she wants her daughters to get married someday. She said if they find somebody they love someday. Samira و COVID وخوي
هوا
COVID وخويقب. Now you see, I didn't show yet how to say I don't want, but it's the same
yes.
pattern. She got it. She just knew what it was. سخويقم. جانديلارا وأدي جبزتشا فددو وبسلانو وخوي.
نضاف أدربت فددو سكنو خويش.
وأدي جبزتشا فددو وبسلانو وخويش. خنش. زارن.
ست.
وكوفي وخوي.
أنت. كوفي خويش.
كوفي سخويش. ساري كوفي سخويش. ساري كوفي سخويش. محمد.
أنت.
وقارو وخوي. Do you want power? قارو وخوي.
هوا س خويش رقم خوي.
وقارو س قارو سخويقم.
س قارو س خويش رقم.
سخويقم.
سخويقم. Not
Ush is when we make a positive statement. When we negate, we don't put ush. سخويقم. سخويقم. Consta. Dimaza.
ست.
وحج وقونو وخوي.
نوتي سيري اف سخويش.
What did I ask you?
I don't understand.
وحج وقونو وخوي. What am I asking you?
وحج قونو وخوي.
And what does that mean in English?
Do you want to go to Hajj?
Yes. I just want to, you gave me the right answer. I just want to make sure you understood the question. Yeah. وحج وقونو وخوي. أنت سحج سقونو سقويش. Kirill. وأدي يبزتشا وبسخلانو وخوي.
أنت أدي يبزتشا
سخلانو سقويش. Aliyah.
ست.
وست وخوي.
س وزن شاو سكويش.
Wow. Wawa azash. Wawa ush. You're very wise. Wawa ush. Wasn't shaga wahwema. Wawa ush. If you say you want health, you're very wise. You're very wise. Sina.
ست.
وقفنو وخوي.
هوا.
ست وخوي سينا.
س رباط سكويش.
ورباط وخوي. ستو ثلاث. How great. ستو ثلاث. نسبة.
قبلة.
وزغور وخوي.
سفري سفاير سفاي
ستفاير.
سفاير برس فايدة قص وشترس جرب تارس
درس
فايمي
درس. Birs, is that Abazak or is that Turkish?
Abzak.
Abazak. What does it mean, birs?
Birs kız ağa.
Birs. I don't know. You said it right. I don't know the word birs in Abazak, but you said it correct. You said the sentence is correct. Gözde.
Sid fayers ağa.
نسبة قجي أجتزا؟
Ber sıfay ağa. Ber sıfay tarıqas onur şerab.
Yeah, my Abazak is very rusty. I know what you're saying, but I don't know what birs means by itself. It's okay. It's okay. You speak Abazak very well, though. You speak Abazak very, very well.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm hoping, I really hope next year I can make a Western dialect course. That's my goal. I know many of you speak Western, and I'm, inshallah, we'll be able to do that.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Gözde.
Yes.
What? Zagwaruwe. Do you want something? What Zagwaruwe?
Traveling spy.
Let me think how to say that easily. Sa zipthahakwa sahwish. It's a little bit advanced. Yeah, zipthahakwa. Well, we'll cover that in later in the course.
Okay.
All right, but everybody, sa sahwish, wowahwish, arhwish, sa sopsatla, wowopsatla, armopsatla, right? When we talk about those patterns, right, in the present tense, right, we see the verb root, just like with psatla, right? We see the verb root, we see the verb root, we see the verb root. This verb takes s in the present tense, w in the present tense, and we don't put m. We never say m, right? So it's a very similar structure, right? And when we come into next class, we'll do more of this, stuff like that. We'll talk about languages you speak, right? Remember, wuris is Russian, wurisibza, Russian language, wurisibzacha in the Russian language, right? So just from this little bit of stuff that we've covered, as a sneak preview in the next class, we can say things like, I don't want to speak English, right? We're starting to build these little building blocks to put those things together. Okay, we ran a little long. Now let me ask you guys, we have 8 minutes left. Do you guys want to have a question and answer, or do you guys want to do breakout rooms? Breakout rooms? Okay, we'll do breakout rooms. And first, I think John Dilara asked, how do I write the word for wise? So I'll put this here. These are just notes pages. Some of the stuff is from last class, some of it's from this class. I'm just putting them here, but wise. Whoosh. Let me make sure I spelled that correctly. Give me 1 second, please. I'm pretty sure it's spelled correctly. I just want to double check. I said this in the other class. I'm a terrible speller in English, and I've been speaking English for 40 years. No one says anything if I make a mistake in English. I make one spelling mistake in a 30-letter long word in Circassian. I make one spelling mistake, and somebody on YouTube is going to come kill me. Yeah. Ush. Okay. Wise. Ush. All right. Let me stop the share. I'm going to share this so you can. This is the link to the Google Slides. You guys can all share your screens I'll put you into the breakout rooms. Let's see, there's 16 of you, 15. I do 5, that'll work. Okay. What I want you guys to do is, again, this is the exercise. Say as much as you can about you, your life, your story. Go as far as you can. And then the person listening will ask you 2 questions. All right. So I'll go first. Sasit arjantish, sasa adigash, adigabzach sopsachaf, washit siash, siadamitar samish, sianamitar randash, sawana wasiash, sabiyip siash, zashala, khajabzish. Right? Something about my life, where I'm from, that kind of stuff. So do your best to say 5 things about you. Don't tell me about Shala and that's about you. And then the person who's listening, ask 2 questions. All right. I'll give you guys, we're going to run a little long, but I'll give you guys 10 minutes. Okay. So breakout rooms. I'll see you guys in 10 minutes, inshallah. There you go.
This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome back, everyone. We ran a little bit over today. I apologize for that. But you guys are all making, listen, you guys are all making very, very good progress. I can see you guys progressing. We're going to go slower in the beginning. The goal here is not speed. It is not speed. The goal here is comfort. The goal here is comfort. And I see in the breakout rooms, you guys are saying, "Sasit arjantish, sa serious ashish, washitsi ash, shawasasi ash, abichim yatzachar," whatever. I see you guys are making some great progress. So it's just a matter of keeping it up. It's just a matter of keeping it up. Any final questions, comments, feedback, anything we've covered in this class? Additional vocabulary, anything that anyone has questions about before we wrap up? Going once,
No.
going twice. Sold. Okay, I will see you guys next week.
Thank you.
If you need to, watch this video to review. The other suggestion that I would make, the other class is the same speed as this class. It may be better for you to watch that class video instead of this class video, because when we see things in a slightly different way, when we hear different people speaking, sometimes it makes it better in our minds. It makes it easier for us to understand it. So if you guys watch these videos, that's great. It may even be more valuable to watch the other videos. The classes are at the same level. Okay, so you guys all have a wonderful weekend. 1 week. Okay, for